Again, good afternoon and welcome to everybody. My name's Grady Hunt and I'm the member of Division 6 of the North Carolina Board of Transportation. We're here today to celebrate the next completed section of the Fayetteville Outer Loop. We will be cutting ribbons for the opening of the Fayetteville Outer Loop, also known as the Airborne and Special Operations Highway, from the All American Freeway to Cliffldale Road in western Fayetteville. This section consists of 7 miles of a new 4-lane freeway that will become I-295. The complete Fayetteville Outer Loop is 39 miles and is very critical for this region, and that it will support the military, promote continued economic growth, and strengthen North Carolina's ability to recruit and retain business and industry. It will also open up this region to my home county, Robeson County. It will make life real easy for folks getting from Robeson County to this area. Before we begin, we have some elected and government officials here with us today. If you're an elected or government official, would you please stand or raise your hand to be recognized? Thank y'all for being here today, and thank you for your continued support. I'd be very remiss if I didn't introduce our former secretary and former board member, Mr. Lindo Tippett. Thank you for being here, Lindo. We also have a delegation from Fort Bragg of active duty soldiers and veterans with us here today. If you would, please stand to be recognized. And I see most of you are already standing. Thank you for your service, and thank you what you do on a daily basis to protect our country. Thank you. With that being said, I would like to welcome our first speaker today, Colonel Philip Sonia. And Colonel, if I butchered your name, I apologize. Colonel Sonia is the garrison commander of the U.S. Army at Fort Bragg. The one thing that jumped out at me about the colonel's resume is this. I was enlisted myself a number of years ago. So to see that you were enlisted and then went to the military academy tells me all I need to know about you without asking anybody any questions. So welcome, Colonel Sonia.
Hey, thank you. I think you probably meant to say I was a troublemaker, but that's okay. It's all right. First of all, I wanted to thank Senator Deviere, Congressman Soka, Secretary Trogan, and Mayor Colvin, and through Deputy Mayor Moan as well. So distinguished guests from across our great area. I just want to say good afternoon on behalf of Lieutenant General Carilla, who's the commander for 18th Airborne Corps in Fort Bragg. It's the largest post in the United States military. First of all, I want to personally thank you on behalf also of our 60,000 soldiers here at Fort Bragg and over 170,000 family members that live and work within the communities around you. They're members of the greater Fort Bragg community as well, and as you know, about 80% of our families and our soldiers live off post. They live with you. They're your community members. They're your volunteers. They're your fellow citizens. And they will continue to reside here as we continue our investments inside Fort Bragg and on the periphery of this area. So the transportation improvements that you see today aren't just an improvement for the Fayetteville area, for the county surrounding us. They're a tremendous improvement for our installation and the way they support our commutes to work, which only increases our family time and lends to that quality of life. We're really good at recruiting soldiers, but efforts like this help us to retain families as well. Second point I'd bring up is, as you know, the mission for 18th Airborne Corps, 82nd Airborne Division, and multiple special operation forces here at Bragg is unique to our military. Not only are we the largest contingency and really the only contingency force that we have across this nation, they provide our leaders the ability to project force globally within hours. That's like no other capability in any other country. And in doing so, they provide your leaders with options that not only ensure success, but prevent war in many cases. So I applaud your efforts in enabling that speed. As we know, speed is the essence of war. We also applaud your efforts, your continued work to improve not only this transportation node, but improve our readiness and support our families and, of course, our incredible state. So all the way, together, thank you. Airborne.
Thank you, Colonel Sonia. Now I would like to welcome Ted Moen. Ted's the Mayor Pro Tem for the city of Fayetteville. Mayor Mitch Colvin's not able to be with us, but Tim's going to offer some remarks.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, everyone, distinguished visitors, General Kraft. On behalf of the city of Fayetteville, Fayetteville City Council, 210,000 residents of Fayetteville, we appreciate the work that the Department of Transportation, NCDOT, Fort Bragg work together to secure this land and create this 295 bypass. I personally like it because when you get to Cliffldale Road right here, my neighborhood is the very first one to the west. So on the way home, for 20 some years coming to Fort Bragg, I was pushed down Riley Road. Now I have the 295. They're not only for the preparedness, readiness of Fort Bragg and the family, as the Colonel mentioned, this is also an economic driver. If you look at some of these interchanges along 295, there's some ripe farmland, it's ready for economic development. And so this is gonna be a boom. Give it about 10 years and you look at these major interchanges, but it couldn't have happened without the federal government, without Fort Bragg, without North Carolina Department of Transportation and the city all working together. So thank you. I just can't wait till the completion in 4 more years, I-95 all the way to the south on I-95. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Moen. And our next speaker and our last speaker is the Secretary of the North Carolina Department of Transportation, Secretary Jim Trogdon.
Thank you, Board Member Hunt, and distinguished guest, General Kraft, folks at Fort Bragg. We really appreciate your support. So it's an honor to be here today to join so many people for this special occasion, and Colonel Sonia, Garrison Commander, Mayor Colvin, who couldn't be here, but all of the officials from Cumberland County as well, past board members, and our special guest, former Secretary Tippett. But I do want to thank personally Greg Burns and his staff in Division 6. This has been a long process, decades to get here, and it always takes a partnership. And so success is always determined by the successful partnerships, and we've had it here. I did want to add this point since Major General Kraft is here. Every garrison commander has had on his OER support form the completion of this part of this facility, and you've got one man here that actually accomplished that mission. So as far as I'm concerned, he's a top blocker. Fayetteville Outer Loop is critical to the state's transportation network in this region. It will improve mobility, it'll improve safety in the region, increase economic opportunity that everyone here knows, will enhance freight, and will better support our military, which is something we truly value here in North Carolina. Last month, we had the pleasure of honoring Lindo Tippett, the former secretary, in the designation of a portion of that I-95 to Ramsey Street for him. So today we're celebrating the opening of the next section, which work began in 2014, almost 7 miles of to All American Freeway to Cliffdale, $144 million in total construction cost, 3 interchanges, 17 bridges, noise walls. We threw in an extra tunnel because Fort Bragg asked for it. All kinds of security components to assist Fort Bragg with their current mission that has evolved immensely since 9/11. And so it's great news that we're here today to open this section, and we look forward to the remaining 2 sections that are actively under construction, and then completion we believe by 2024, and if we can speed that up we will, for the entire 39 miles. While I would be remiss if I didn't mention that all of our partners have helped make this project possible. Fort Bragg is one. We also know how critical they are to the region, but we also really appreciated their direct contributions, not only to help as a partner in getting us here, but I want to mention the donation of land that they had under their control to make it possible. And then work with us during the construction phasing to make sure that the lane closures and traffic closures would be functional but not inhibit folks getting on to post and off post. So great partnership there. As well as the $2 million tunnel that they recommended and we helped build. That was a bonus. As well as 2 new access control points or the gates off of Riley Road. Because as everyone here knows, the one that was on Riley Road there was not really functional for the growth on this side of the post. And as someone who went through that many times, I can assure you it will be treasured for years to come. I did want to thank our other partners, though, the City of Fayetteville, particularly for their partnership over the years. As you all know, we don't just deliver transportation by the Department of Transportation just because we think it's a good idea. It takes lots of input, lots of support, and our NPOs, Fayetteville area is one of our major ones, was a critical partner. Cumberland County as well. So it's with great pleasure that we recognize them and how critical they are in helping us deliver this project. This future Interstate 295 is already transforming how people travel in this region. Just the excitement alone is transforming it, but in a few moments after we cut the ribbon, we'll move out of the way and they'll have access to this facility. Adding additional mobility options, better connecting rural and urban areas for employment, and giving Fort Bragg that direct interstate access will be helpful in protecting it not only as an asset for the state, but as an asset for our nation. So we plan to have the entire loop, all 39 miles, open by 2024 and sooner if possible. But this is a great example on how, when we work together, we achieve outstanding results. Building transportation network, and my goal is to build transportation networks that people want, need, and will use. So again, thank you for the cooperation, thank you for the partnership, for the support, and we look forward to you enjoying the benefits of this facility for many, many years to come. Thank you.
Thank you, Secretary Trogdon. We toured back in May, 1st of May actually, we toured with the board this 7-mile section. And to see the work that's been done since May is just truly amazing. So to the contractor, hats off to you. I mean, hats off to you guys. It's just amazing what you've done. Before we end the program today, it's always good to thank folks that really get the job done. And I'd be remiss if I didn't thank Greg Burns, the division engineer for Division 6, and his staff for helping us put this event together today. And for just being, and I know I'm a little biased, but the best engineer, division engineer in the state of North Carolina as far as I'm concerned. And I know Greg well enough to know he's blushing and turning red, but that's okay. You give credit where credit's due. Now I'd like to welcome and ask the speakers to join me in cutting the ribbon. I'd also like to ask all elected officials and Secretary Tippett to join me in cutting the ribbon. Again, thank you for being here with us today.
3, 2, 1.
My scissors work.